Hey all. Um, I don't know how many people are going to be on this, and it's okay. Didn't really do it at spur of the moment. Um, Obviously Jeff's working, so I just wanted to get on here really quickly and just give a message and stuff before this gets uh, too far out there. As I'm sure you've all heard and read by now, and I know just from going on X and seeing it all this morning, it looks like the unfortunate has happened, and there are going to be roster cuts, and they are in progress as we speak. The names so far who have been released are Mustafa Ali, Emma, uh, Aaliyah, and Rick Boogs. So that's so far, and I hate saying this. I hate even reporting this. And believe me, this video that I'm doing here will not be monetized. This video is not gonna. I'm not doing this in any way or shape or form for any sort of attention for the channel. So how many people ever watch is fine. I'm here to basically just present a message to all of you as to what our feelings are, my feelings are, and I'm sure Jeff shares this too. Um, so to those four people, obviously, who are tremendous. Hey guys that are joining me. Hello Khalid. Hello Greg, John, and John G. Um, to those people who have been released so far, obviously the biggest thing of the day that you have to remember is this: while we're all fans of wrestling, and that's what brings us joy and why we watch what we do, we have to just take a step back. Hey Sean, how are you? And remember that this is these people's livelihood. This is their career, this is their job, and more importantly, this is their dream. Um, People don't normally, they come up from different places, right? Whether it be Independence, the Performance Center, maybe other companies, and a lot of times their dream is to get to the WWE because that's like the big pinnacle, right? And, when they're there, they go there for probably all different reasons. And those are, we don't, who cares? But when they lose that, um, not only does it, they've not only lost their jobs, which is horrible in its own right. If you've never lost a job in your life, I'm glad for you first of all. But if you ever have, and it's happened to me twice, both times that it happened, it was because stores that I had worked for had closed, and I was informed that, or one of the stores closed, the other was a position that was gotten rid of by the company, and it sucks. You are. Um, I'm not a man who shows emotions very well. Sometimes I'm not a crier for almost anything. Sometimes I wish I was, but I literally cried my eyes out when I lost my job back then because I didn't know what my next move was. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had a family to support with two children, and I didn't know where I was going to go next. So please, 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 throughout today, please keep that in mind. That these superstars have families. They have friends. They have people who rely on them to support them, and so please keep that in mind. However much it hurts us, right? Because we enjoy what they do and we like them for what they do, please keep in mind that that means very little in the grand scope of things. They are, they are. This is their livelihood. This is what makes them money. What brings their food to the table. What pays their bills. And sure, they'll get some sort of severance more than likely. I don't know how WWE contracts work, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of severance. But even that, guys, that doesn't last long. And, from the little I do know about WWE contracts and stuff, that may or may not include medical of any kind. So that is horrible. And that is a horrible feeling for anyone to go through. Sean, so four superstars so far. It was Aaliyah, Rick Boogs, Mustafa Ali, and Emma. Unfortunately, from what I've heard and read, I do believe there's many more to come. I'm not surprised. This is after Endeavor. They just announced Elias has gone to. I'm not surprised by that either. He's been off TV for such a long time now. So this is going to be a long list, guys. This is going to be a long list. When Endeavor took over, the rumor was that the cuts would be announced. People like, well, I'm not going to mention names, but those other big channels, some of the other big channels that are out there, dirt sheet channels that said there would be no roster cuts. Well, they obviously were incorrect. So 5 superstars. The list is going to just keep going on. Unfortunately, when this happened the last time, it makes my stomach turn. By the way, just watching the internet all day and Twitter all day for X or whatever the hell it's called all day for continual names, which sucks. It really sucks. And like I said, please, 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 while this is going to hurt many of us who have been fans of these wrestlers, they are hurting even more. Emma's post was heartbreaking. WWE announced that they were going to Perth, Australia next year for Elimination Chamber. That is where Emma is from. And she could have performed in front of a hometown crowd, and now that dream is gone. So again, for as sad as this is for us as fans, please always keep in the back of your mind that these people have lost and are losing their livelihoods and their dreams, and it sucks. Sure, and please, here's another thing that I'm going to say too. Okay, and I know, our community. You guys are good people, and I know that you're caring people, which is great. Don't give in to going out there and getting involved in the discussions of, well, where are they headed next? Well, they can go here, they can go there. Again, that's beside the point right now. They might be on some sort of non-compete, which is, when you're released, they have to be, they might be on something like that where they can't wrestle anywhere for maybe 90 days or 30 days. And I'm not just talking to you guys in chat. I know, listen, I know Top Dollar was just released now. Yeah, this is going to be bad. But, it doesn't matter where they go. It doesn't matter. I'm sure other companies will be interested. Mustafa Ali is a huge talent. Huge talent. We can sit here and say all day where we think they should go, where they would fit better, and stuff like that. And that's going to be said in the next many, many hours or days or whatever the case might be. The fact of the matter is that they're out. And then, we don't know where they'll end up. We don't know if they'll end up on their feet. We don't know how long they're out. It's usually 90 days non-compete, which is probably, if I had to guess business-wise, how long they're probably going to be paid for by WWE or kept on benefits. When I was let go, I was given benefits. Well, it depends on your tenure with any other job. I mean, I was paid out a severance, which was essentially a lump sum of money. This was when Verizon closed our store. I was given a large sum of money. And I mean, not huge, but I mean a pretty good amount of money, and then I was given medical benefits for a certain period of time, and I'm sure that's probably what they have as well. But that said, it's not very long, so it's usually, but the 90-day non-compete usually goes in coincidence with something like that. So. But again, all that said, it still sucks. All of Hit Row is gone now. Eraser Mind says, yeah, this is going to be there were rumors out there. I went and looked some of it up the last couple of days, of lists, which is gross, but lists that people made up of people who could potentially be cut. The lists were kind of hefty, and the list consisted mostly of people who haven't been around very much. And you can listen. You all watch wrestling, right? You're gonna know who hasn't been on TV. And I can start rattling off names. I am not going to do that because that's gross too. Yeah, speculation of who's next is disgusting. This is going to be, all I will say is this is going to be a large list. It's going to be a big list. I just have that bad feeling about it. It'll probably be one series of cuts, and it's probably going to be large. Um, so, yeah, it just, this just sucks. Plain and simple, it just sucks. WWE was in a pretty good way. I know Triple H was saying a while back that there would be no roster cuts. Well, when you are bought out by a different company, all bets are kind of off, as to what's coming and what's not. So it's up to them now. And so, regardless of the standing of Triple H or, whoever else, Endeavor now owns the company, and they are going to make the business decisions. Along with, I would assume, Nick Khan, who still has his position, but they're going to make the business choices and the business decisions. So they're going to be the ones that are going to make these choices. And, so yeah, we could keep speculating, but this is going to probably go continue. The last time I did something like this was the last time they had roster cuts, back a few years ago, whenever that was, and the list just continued to grow. It was all released. The wrestlers, and it went almost exactly the same way. Some of the wrestlers came out in the early morning and started to say they were gone. And then soon after, we got lists of people who continuously were, let go all throughout the course of the next few hours. So I'm sure that this list is going to unfortunately be big. And some of your favorites are going to be gone. I mean, look at the people who, Hit Row, amazing tag team, with, of course, NXT. Rick Boogs in the role with Shinsuke. We all remember him with Pat McAfee. Was amazing in his own right. And unfortunately, right at his peak of popularity, he had a severe injury, which then derailed him completely. And unfortunately, he was never the same. Emma, I know Tennille more from Impact than I do than I did from WWE, and I really we never really saw her much. We never really saw Tennille very much in WWE. She was in a couple things. She wrestled Ronda Rousey, but other than that, unfortunately, not much. And she was amazing in Impact Wrestling, amazing. So I kind of hope that she goes there. Yeah, Chris, be a little tough to talk about a great piece of pie, buddy. We're not kind of a food channel, but nevertheless. And I'm coming out basically, as I stated earlier, for those of you who just joined me. The reason I'm doing this is not to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm trying to just make it clear that these people lost their livelihoods today. And it's, regardless of what we think, regardless of how much we'll miss them as superstars and stuff like that, they lost their livelihoods. And there's nothing else to say. They lost their jobs. They lost their dreams today. And that just sucks for anyone, for that to happen to anyone. So that's pretty much the message I want to get across. Regardless of what keeps going on, please, out there on the socials, please be respectful of them. I know that I tagged a few people in posts today, but pretty much just to say that what I wanted to say primarily was thank you, which is what I put out there for Mustafa Ali and for Emma, thanking them for doing what they do to entertain us every single day that they're out there, whether it be on the road or on TV, whatever. And obviously wishing them the best, and keeping them in our thoughts, and hoping that they will continue to be able to find their dreams and live their dreams, and do what they want to do. They're obviously they're pro wrestlers. This is what they love, and so hopefully they will continue to get that opportunity somewhere else. The nice thing about this is, guys, is, there's constantly that war going on the socials, which is ridiculous, by the way, of company versus company. Well, this company sucks and that company sucks and blah 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 blah. In this case, it's a great thing that these other companies are out there, because this gives them opportunities to go somewhere else, not just be WWE being the be all and end all. They have other places that they can go and they'll be welcomed and they'll do well. And again, talking about that and talking about where these people will fit and stuff like that, if that's what people are saying on the socials right now, then they're not getting the point. So that's in essence what I just came on and wanted to say. They were all in their own way. WWE, TNA, Impact, all was one of those guys. Could have been a 5-star match. Him versus Josh would be, yeah. So it just, it's a shock. It's shocking. Again, if you've never lived through losing your position and losing your job, it sucks. And the emotions are just horrible. You feel like you don't. I mean, these people could be. Listen, if they're anything like me, when it happened to me, you're sitting in your vehicle. You're sitting outside of the company. You're on the phone with a loved one, and you're probably bawling your eyes out. This is how it is. And it is, for me, it was one of the worst, most helpless feelings I've ever had in my entire life. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And so that's what these people are feeling today. So please be respectful of them, and don't get involved in because you will see these morons out on Twitter talking about, oh, this guy should go to AEW, this guy should go here, this guy should go to that's pointless. Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter where we want to see them. That doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is these are human beings that have lost their jobs. And so again, and I know I'm not talking to you guys. I'm not talking to you guys in chat and our community, because you guys are one of the reasons why we're so proud to have you guys as our community, as our family, is because you're respectful. But not all the people out there are, unfortunately. Not all the people are out there. You're even going to see morons out there today putting up hate posts. Oh, well, this guy sucked. It's a good thing he left anyway. He wasn't even around. He was never on. He was terrible, or she was terrible. You're going to see that. You're going to see that. Guaranteed you will. Which is why social media is sometimes just trash. But yeah, this is a very sad day for anyone, especially these folks in the WWE. And again, it sucks. I was really hoping this wouldn't happen, but hearing about these things earlier, knowing that the merger was going to happen, the takeover was going to happen, I kind of pretty much figured that this would be the case today. I didn't know it would be today, but I figured it would probably be coming. Again, it just goes to show you too with the dirt sheets, right? Not always right. Not always right. They were all pretty much, a lot of them were pretty much saying no cuts. Well, that was not correct. So I hope the list isn't too long. And my hopes are that, like I said, whoever was let go will be able to continue their dreams. If their dream is even to be in wrestling anymore, and maybe it's not, maybe it won't be, but if their dream is to continue wrestling, then I hope that they can find that wherever it may be. Again, there are choices. There's NWA, there's Impact, there's AEW, there's independent wrestling, although independents are rough because they don't make a steady paycheck. But, there are other choices. And if that's what they want to do, then they're all of these names that have been mentioned are extremely talented people. And I know that if they want to continue, they will probably have an avenue, hopefully, to do that. And that's really, really the big thing here. So it sucks being a bearer of bad news. I don't like to do videos about bad news. As our channel is a rare one in the fact that we try to be positive. So that's what we like to do here. That's what we want to do. It doesn't always get us the views that some of these other channels do because negativity sells, unfortunately. And this is certainly not positive at all. But I wanted to just come out and just have everybody just kind of think a little differently, think a little out of the box when you're seeing these names pop up that, think about, put yourself in their shoes. Think about what they're going through as an individual with their families and stuff like that today, because that's what's genuinely most important. Where they end up, who knows? But it will be a while. It's already September, getting close to October, November, December, January. They probably won't end up anywhere new until the beginning of next year. January, February-ish is when they would be able to maybe resume wrestling, or they'll start popping up in different places. And it's still taking them away, taking them away from their livelihood, giving them the sense of the known, where they won't know if they're going to have something again. And that feeling is awful. You just feel, the other thing you kind of feel too is you feel like you're useless. You feel like you've made a mistake. You feel like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What caused this to happen? Was it me? And even though maybe it's not, maybe it has nothing to do with you, it's downsizing, which, doesn't necessarily have to be you. It does, however, make you think that, well, why wasn't I one of the ones chosen to be kept? And so that does creep in, right? That someone was better than you. And that's a crappy feeling too. So, yeah, it's just lousy. It's a sucky time. And so, yeah, I'm not going to stay on much longer here because I really don't want to, I could stay on for hours, reading off names and stuff like that. If the names continue coming, I'm not going to do that. That's embellishment. I don't want that to be the case. Just being on here and delivering my message is all I essentially wanted to do. Emma wasn't being used. 90 days is long. Yeah, 90 days is long for anyone to be out of work, regardless of whether you're being paid or not. And I don't know. Bully Ray mentioned once on Busted Open that wrestling contracts are very different. Very, very different. So talent is very different. And he said that people are paid very differently, which I can understand that. The big names are probably paid very differently than some of the people who aren't the big names. And they probably also get very different contracts than some of those that aren't the big names. So yeah, very, very, very different uh, than than the top stars. So all right, well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna wrap this up. Um, yeah, in a little bit better news, hope to see you guys tonight. Jeff and I were out of action last week. Jeff is doing better. Jeff had a hospital stay. I ended up going to the emergency room because of my tattoo of all goofy things. I unfortunately got an infection where I got the tattoo, but that's doing better now. And that's why I had to miss Impact 1000 last week. I did watch the first one. It was tremendous. So many cool returns there, and Tasha Steeles came back, and Rohit came back. The reunited Dudley Boys. It was tremendous wrestling. If you haven't watched it, you really should check it out. And tonight is going to be awesome. The women's 5 versus 5. Mickey James, Mickey's back, which was amazing. So yeah, we're gonna be around definitely for tonight's show. So come out and join us for that, and more celebration of the 1000th Impact episode will happen tonight. And then we will be we will be on Sunday with Between the Ropes, so which I'm sure will cover a lot of this and a lot of the things that are happening here today, as well as a lot of the other news on Sunday. So yeah, so it always it kind of sucks, right? It always seems like Impact ends up being a day where these crappy things happen. It's obviously it's a day off for WWE in between their shows, Raw and then NXT and stuff. It's a day off from, usually this isn't a day for wrestling in general, except for Impact. So Thursdays end up being a day like that, and I hope this doesn't put a damper on their show tonight, because I'm sure that this stuff hangs over like a big black cloud, and in all of wrestling. So yeah, I hope to see you guys tonight at normal time, of course, at 7:45 p.m. Eastern for Impact Wrestling. It's the part 2 of their Impact 1000 celebration, which is just a tremendous thing for them. So yeah, some of you, I don't usually do this from the living room, but some of you wanted to see, if I can get close up here. I probably can't, but there is Marley. Some of you wanted to see Marley, and you can see she's stretching for me now because she heard me say her name. But there is Marley. It's hard. There you go. There you go. There she is. She's asleep on the pillow over there. So I know a lot of you were asking me to get Marley on camera. So a little bit of a happier note there to end the stream. But there is Marley, the one who barks a lot during our streams. So. All right, guys. Listen, I hope the list isn't too long. I hope that it, those folks that did anyone else, before we go, is anyone else, did you guys see any other names out there before we head out, since Top Dollar and of course Hit Row were all mentioned? Was anybody else mentioned since then? Again, I really hope that this just stops, but otherwise. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna get out of here and get my day started and things going, and so I can be all set to go for Impact later on tonight. Guys, have a great rest of your afternoon, a great rest of your day, and again, just send out your thoughts and prayers, if you believe in that, to these people and their families, that they can have clarity, and they can in their decisions of what's going to come next. All right, guys, I'll see you all later on Impact Wrestling. Take care.